It was the first Monday of September 2018, and Move Company is welcoming new members to the Human Resources Department. Meet Ted and Barney. Both of them are joining the training and development team. Ted sees himself as a newbie in this area because he only has 1 year of work experience where he has been involved in administrative tasks and training logistics. It is different from the expectations in his job, but he is eager to learn new things in Move Company. Meanwhile, Barney has 3 years of experience and was able to expand his knowledge in this area. He developed programs and facilitated various training in his previous company.
It seems like everyone in my team has a broader experience than me. But don't worry, Ted. I know you can do this. You will definitely learn a lot from your colleagues, and that will help you develop your skills.
I'm born for this. I have this talent that no one else has. Conducting training is very easy. I believe that my colleagues will be surprised at how good I am, especially this newbie Ted.
Days have passed and both of them have become busy at work. Ted was exposed to new tasks that he never did before. It was a challenge at first, but he worked hard to better understand the ways of working and reach out for help from his seniors. He spent most of his weekends reading self-help books and attending webinars that can develop his skills. While Barney, he is satisfied with his current knowledge. He declined opportunities to attend seminars because he believed that it's just a waste of time and he already knew the topic to be discussed. 3 years later, their supervisor gathered all of them for a very important meeting. He announced that Ted will be promoted because of his hard work and dedication in the team. Barney feels sad about this as he thinks that he should be in that position because of his innate talent. Mindsets are referred to as implicit theories about the malleability of human characteristics. The development of mindset theory originally began in the 1970s when Carol Dweck in her studies observed that children reacted very differently to challenges and setbacks. While some children were easily unsettled by difficulties and desperately tried to avoid them, others liked challenges and were even actively seeking them. Being intrigued by this observation and searching for an explanation, the idea of implicit theories was born when she and her colleague Mary Bandura figured that the meaning of failure was dependent on children's view of ability as something deep-seated and permanent or something they can develop. Mindset theory suggests that people with a fixed mindset, as compared to a growth mindset, are more interested in proving and validating themselves than in actual improvement and hence more vulnerable to get discouraged by mistakes and setbacks. Let's further discuss the difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset. Growth mindset involves the passion for learning, growth, and constant self-improvement and makes people capable of overcoming challenges and setbacks through endurance and the investment of effort. Its counterpart, the so-called fixed mindset, is characterized by the belief that one's competencies and talents, like intelligence or creativity, are carved in stone and basically unchangeable.
Now, let's dig in and discuss the differences of the two mindsets to further discuss how it affects one's behavior. People with a growth mindset believe that intelligence can be developed, so they see challenges as opportunities. They acknowledge their weaknesses, have optimistic and realistic goals. They are also not easily influenced by peer pressure. They are highly persistent and see traits as something that can be improved through effort and practice. Therefore, they are excited in new tasks ahead of them. This portrays that they have an internal locus of control, and those with a growth mindset may reach even higher levels of achievement and displays a greater sense of freedom. On the other hand, people with a fixed mindset believe that intelligence is a fixed trait, so they see challenges as threats to expose their inferiorities. They also deny or gets intimidated by their weaknesses. They have pessimistic and unrealistic goals. They are easily influenced by peer pressure because they want the approval of others, and they easily give up when faced with difficult situations outside their talents. Also, their traits are more important than effort. That is why they think that efforts are pointless and they fear new tasks outside of their comfort zone since they would always want to look smart in other people's eyes, which only shows that they have an external locus of control. Having a fixed mindset would often result in them achieving less than their full potential and may plateau early, which confirms a deterministic view of the world. In summary, for those with a growth mindset, personal success is when you work your hardest to become your best. Whereas for those with a fixed mindset, success is about establishing their superiority, pure and simple. At the heart of what makes the growth mindset so winsome, Dweck found that it creates a passion for learning rather than a hunger for approval. In mindset formation, Dweck's research has explored that mindsets are formed very early in life. In their study, they found out that the kind of praise given to children affects how they decide in a particular situation. The ability praise such as, "Wow, your score is high, you must be really smart," pushed the children right into the fixed mindset and showed all the signs of it, while the effort praise such as, "Your scores are very good, you must work hard for it," made the students strive more even if faced with difficult situations. Out of these two mindsets, which we manifest from a very early age, springs a great deal of our behavior, our relationship with success and failure in both professional and personal contexts, and ultimately our capacity for happiness.
While it is clear now the difference between a fixed and a growth mindset, the question remains, how can you nurture a growth mindset? There are many tips that you can read or watch from the internet and even from the social media platform on how to adapt a growth mindset. These tips may be useful at some point in time. However, in the workplace, there are many factors that can overpower an individual's mindset, such as organizational structures, authority figures, work relationships, among others. But employees have a significant control over the goals that they set for themselves, and more importantly, on the orientation they adapt whenever they pursue their goals. Van de Waal, Nerstad, and Desvig propose in their study that in order for employees to be successful in their work and to transcend themselves, it is not enough to only focus on what they need to achieve within a specific span of time, but more importantly, on the perspective they take as they achieve their goals. There are two orientations that employees usually adapt during the course of achieving their individual goals. The first is a performance orientation, wherein the focus is on the demonstration of one's abilities, gaining favorable judgments, or avoiding negative judgments of their competence. The second is learning goal orientation, in which individuals seek to increase their competence to develop their existing abilities or to understand or master a new skill. Van de Waal, Nerstad, and Desvig suggested ways for employees on how to adapt a learning goal orientation in the workplace. First, goals set for oneself should contain more skill development and refinement rather than specific targets to hit. Second is to appreciate that effort is the more important determinant of job performance and not just the results. Third is to embrace novel and challenging learning opportunities and to pursue adaptive response patterns such as effort escalation and persistence when encountering performance setbacks. Fourth is to perceive information sharing with colleagues as an opportunity for supporting mutual growth. And last but not the least, employees can adopt a learning goal orientation if they will seek feedback from their superiors, their colleagues, and even from their clients. Nurturing a growth mindset is not just about reaching goals, but more importantly, it is about enjoying and savoring the journey of learning while we are in the process of achieving the goals we set for ourselves. Though it is more desirable to adopt a growth mindset, it must be noted that adopting a fixed mindset can be useful at times. According to Dweck, human beings tend to oscillate between a fixed and a growth mindset depending on the situation they are in. Especially now that we are in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous situation due to the pandemic, people tend to automatically switch to a fixed mindset given the high unpredictability and risk. Adopting a fixed mindset during times where uncertainty is high can even save us from making huge mistakes. However, in the long run, especially when we get acquainted with a complex and difficult situation, we must choose not to overstay in a fixed mindset, learn to nurture a growth mindset, and use our resources to overcome the long and winding road we are traversing.
Organizations are susceptible to misinterpretations related to growth mindset and fail to recognize its importance on employee experience. In support of that, Grant et al. 2018 even mentioned 5 mistakes that organizations tend to make about growth mindset. First on that list is, growth mindset means striving for growth. However, this is not the case. Growth mindset is motivated on openness to experience and interpreting failures as a learning guide towards improvement. Next, business instead of individuals can have a growth mindset. Abstract entities such as a business don't have minds. Rather, organizations can be considered as having a growth mindset in a sense that its employees collectively have that characteristic. Another myth is that growth is limitless. We must debunk this idea that having a growth mindset means being able to do anything if you put your mind to it. This way of thinking may possibly distract, confuse, and demotivate employees. In addition, fourth on the list is growth mindset is binary. Instead, it is a spectrum wherein people can differ on their mindset across the different aspects in their lives. And lastly, some tend to have a belief that growth mindset means having a positive attitude whatever happens. This is certainly false. Individuals must realize that there are limits on what they are capable of doing in certain situations. Based on what we have discussed so far, this now places importance on its application in organizations, especially for the benefit of the employees. Designing appropriate intervention programs to foster and maximize the advantages of having a growth mindset indeed would be helpful for the business. Thus, Han and Steha 2020 have brought up these HRD interventions which may possibly help organizations in encouraging a growth mindset in the workplace. Conducting relevant training in order to improve the skills and widen the knowledge of employees may contribute to having a growth mindset. Feedback and coaching would also help individuals know the areas in which one excels in and lack of some sort, thus providing an accurate overview of one's current skills and abilities. Hiring applicants who have a growth mindset may also be advantageous to organizations. Further, promoting an organizational culture which places importance on growth mindset without discriminating against anyone from a certain group may help drive the organization towards achieving its desired state. And for performance appraisal, with such mindset, managers may be more analytical and critical in their assessment of their team members. Johnston 2017 has also provided suggestions. By letting individuals experience a fixed mindset and then raising the idea of a growth mindset may give them a better grasp of its advantages and disadvantages and may possibly contribute to a change in their behaviors. The reinforcement and contributions from members of the management do matter in influencing the employees to take part in this process and sustaining such culture. The concept of growth mindset has been a gray area for most organizations. In this modern time, organizations and even employees often fail to recognize its pivotal role for their success. May this short video serve as a reminder to individuals and organizations on the impact of mindsets and how they can be beneficial or detrimental to one's career and/or business. While mindsets are primarily controlled by the individual, organizations have a big role in cultivating a growth mindset within its ranks by recognizing the potential of its employees, encouraging individuals to grab opportunities for development, and rewarding talented individuals. This can be advantageous for the company and its employees as they work towards the success of the business and the advancement of their own careers respectively, resulting in a more agile and resilient organization.